Well, here we are then. It's time for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Here in my F125, my team career mode. 3 rounds remain. Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. The previous one, Brazil. As you can see on screen, it was a very exciting episode. Lots of fun battles. A sprint weekend with double the action. And it was really intense. Now, from that episode, you can see we did make some gains on fan rating. However, we surprisingly lost sentiment and we lost fan bonuses. Now, if you want to see more or what happened elsewhere in that episode, link in the top right because, yeah, it surprised me. Anyway, we have quite a few big updates and they're actually pretty significant. Now, we return to the main HQ office and
here's the outcome from that call, boss.
we start out with the consequence of the facility event for the personnel in the last episode. To be fair, this one pretty swiftly. The statement from one of our staff members in the durability side got into a bit of trouble, so we had to basically, make a decision. We opted to actually not discipline them. However, it has still actually affected the morale. So that's a surprise, but to be fair, 2% is minor. However, we return to bombshell news. Nico Hulkenberg will be racing for 97 Racing in Season 2, 2026. He has signed the contract. It's confirmed. It's locked in. I actually can't believe it. There was a 7% chance of him signing the contract, the first one we offered, with, nothing really too over the top. And he accepted straight away. So I'm gassed. The question is, who is going to be his dance partner? We might have some answers in this video. Now for this one, we're going to spend an owner training point on budget mastery, which basically is going to, again, increase our R&D points, allocation capacity. With that out of the way, we went into activities and we're going to do a focus on a specific type of upgrade. We want to basically do activities here where we're trying to minimize costs because we have to protect upgrades for the reg change. And we're also going to do the same thing here for the personnel to basically keep the focus sharp on aero and powertrain to protect those upgrades. Also, a tech expo to increase our R&D points to 100 per day as we receive the hydraulics for the chassis and the fuel injection system on the powertrain. Now, those are both research projects. So we then delve into development. You can see we're going to go ahead and now put that into effect, getting an upgrade scheduled because there's no change on chassis or durability, so we can still push on to get these upgrades churned out and improve our car some more. So we're going to go ahead and repurchase a couple of failed upgrades for the MGUK and the control electronics, and then we're going to skip ahead on the timeline a bit more.
Boss, need to make you aware of something. Another team has made an approach for one of the drivers we're talking to. It's hard to say how far it's gone, but if you're serious about signing them, I'd advise moving quickly. You can find more details in the driver contract screen.
Now it seems things are moving. Williams want Liam Lawson. He's on our shortlist. Talks have gone well, but I opted to not renegotiate. I opted to not counteroffer. I am happy to let Williams pursue Liam Lawson. I have a different idea in mind in terms of what I want to achieve. Now, we return from that and we can now readapt more parts for next season for the aero, also for the powertrain. We had a failure on the rotor speed. We'll get around to that eventually. You'll see now we have a huge backlog of researched upgrades that we haven't developed yet on the powertrain. You can see we've got the rotor speed, and then if we scroll to the right, 4 more upgrades to be developed. So yeah, those are kind of going to stall a little bit until we can figure out the upgrade situation with the reg change. Now we skip ahead and we do get some more important updates.
Sorry to disturb. Need you for a moment, please, boss?
So we have another event, this time in the engineering facility, and we're going to see what this one entails. Now, it looks like we've got actually a bit more sim time for both of our drivers, and I actually did this wrong. I gave it, I believe, to Solov, even though we're racing as Solov today, so it would have been more ideal to give it to Jarno. So bit of a mistake on my end, but still, Solov will be a bit sharper and have a bit more focus. But then...
Well, it looks like we've been pipped to the post by another team. They've agreed a contract. It's all locked. Hopefully you weren't too set on them. I'm sorry it's not better news, but there are other options out there.
Now, genuinely, Williams got this done ASAP. Like, they literally drafted up the talks, got the contract done, and they've signed him swiftly. So Lawson is moving to Williams. The question is, what other dominoes are going to fall in Season 2? Now, with Lawson off the table, I thought, look, let's bring a touch of realism into this career mode. Franco Colapinto has a race seat for Alpine in real life right now. So let's bring him into the world of F1 My Team, into my world, and let's see how a decent looking free agent with F1 experience looks in this career mode. So we're going to offer him a contract. Now we delve into facility improvements, and we're going to do a few updates on here as well. Now we've done the on-track instrumentation level 2, and we're going to add to that by doing also research expansion for the aero, to do 2 research projects at the same time. To be fair, we're doing these to basically kind of knock out the phase 1 upgrades and get them, gone and forgotten about, as we then also protect more updates. Now we only have 2 left on the aero, but it's the powertrain where we're still lacking and we're still slacking. We've got to try and get these turned around. We've now got 1 left on the ECU, and we've also received more updates on the durability side of things. So we're going to do a gearbox update. Now, with that out of the way, we also received supplier upgrades. Now, general wear, very good from Mercedes-Benz, 1 for each driver, and valve timing for powertrain, which I believe is power related, but I could be wrong. Again, for both drivers, but that will also get lost in the reg change, so not the best timing on that one. Anyway, Jarno Otmir, now 67 rated, and Nikola Solov 63. So our drivers are still looking pretty good. Their focus looks good, and this weekend we are racing as Solov. So the forecast is dry. It's Vegas. It's going to be stone cold, but basically no rain. The standings. Now this is something I want to mention really quickly. I think if we get a good result today with Solov, I think it's a lock that we get a top 10 with both of our drivers in Season 1, and we also get a P5 in the Constructors. I think both of those are possible, they're realistic, and they're achievable today if results go our way and other teams also falter. Now, setup, you can pause and copy as you like. Tyres around here, we go a bit more low on the tyre pressure because there's very low track temperature, very little grip. So especially when it comes to the mediums and the hards, you want to make sure they're funding tyre temps. So you want to lower them pressures to basically make tyre warm up a bit easier. Now we go into practice, go into the programs. We knocked out the track acclimatization. We also knocked out our race simulations. But then on the qualified performance test, we were nowhere. Now the Delta was telling me we were very slow on the straight. Like we were getting destroyed, even using battery down every single straight, which is weird because my pace seems pretty good and my sector times kind of back that up. But it seems P10 in the speed trap, we are just slow, and we also bang the wall for good measure. So that's going to basically put an end to that program. I'm not going to burn up the engine or burn any more sets of tires. All we're going to do is basically make a small tweak and bring the wings down a little bit more for qualifying and the race. And yeah, in terms of the programs, purple, perfect score on track acclimatization. Also purple, perfect score on race strategy as well. Tire wear, pretty much 1-to-1. Really good fuel consumption as well. And yeah, that's going to be the end of our practice session. So we finished in P9 with Solov on the mediums. Very good sign. Otmir P20 on softs. So that's not as good of a sign. Either way, Hulkenberg P21. Important to keep an eye on him now and see how he does in these last couple of rounds. Just to see his progress as our future driver. And yeah, resource points. We also pick up a hefty chunk and job done for us in practice. So we're going to get to qualifying and see what the true pace of the car is, and we're going to see if this is going to be a good weekend for us or a bad one. So let's go.
Stand by to see cars at more than 210 miles an hour blasting their way down the strip. F1 has taken over. It's F1 Fever, Las Vegas.
Now we begin as always with Q1, soft tyres on the wagon as we delve into our first lap. Now Lawson is on the out lap here and he's going to get right in our way. For some reason it always seems to be a V-carb. It's always an RB that's in the way. We had it I think in Monza, and we had it a few times this season where they just keep on getting in the way on either an out lap or in lap or cool down lap, wherever it may be, always hindering us. Now, over the line, we did a supposed purple middle sector, and we go just ahead of Otmir in P6. So hard to tell where we really are, but then we did a cool down lap and went again, and we're now P8, P9 as we begin our second push lap. So Noda just splits us as he went over the line. Verstappen 29.3, 1.4 seconds faster than us. So that kind of gives you a bit of an idea as to what the pace is. We're going to get the second lap underway. Now, to be fair, even Steven so far, neck and neck, not a lot in it as we head towards turn 4. We're going to see if we can try and hopefully match our first sector and then gain where we was blocked by Lawson last lap. Into the sphere chicane, we're currently at 10th up, but I just slightly locked the left front, so I missed the apex on the way in and I lost that 10th. But through here, you'll see we find a good chunk of time, about a tenth and a half, nearly 2/10 from that Lawson hold up, and we basically just managed that throughout the back straight, and we found a bit more time in that last chicane, and we're going to improve by 3/10. So decent lap, currently P11, Otmir currently P13, up to the line we go, and we are going to dip into the .4s, and that is P6. Thank you very much. Back to the garage. Verstappen is in a different planet. To be fair, Hamilton and Leclerc not too far behind, but we are 1.1 seconds off in P6. Otmir, P13 right now, comfortably into Q2. Both Astons, both V-Cubs, both Saubers on the cusp of elimination. And the question is, who actually got knocked out? So, both of our cars are in. Great start to proceedings here. Jarno, half a second off. I believe we lost both Saubers. I believe we lost one of the Williams, not both. Actually, no, they both got through both of the Williams, sorry. Both V-Cubs. And I believe we lost one of the Aston Martins in the end. Now, we had a bit of a screen freeze here, which was really badly timed, paired with also arriving at Esteban Ocon, and that was a bit of a distraction, bit of a time loss. Luckily, it didn't affect us too badly, but it was still not exactly ideal. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth first lap in Q2, fresh tyres, and we're going to do the same run plan as Q1. We do a PB, 1 minute 30.1, so a tenth quicker than Q1, but only P9. We're now P11 a few minutes later, and currently we're going to begin our second push lap. So same run plan as the first session, out lap, push lap, cool down lap, push lap, in lap. 5 laps in total. So let's see if we can try and find some time on this second one. Currently we're down by a fraction as we head into this left kink onto the back straight. Braking late, but we just get a bit of a slip and slide on the way in, and that cost us a quarter of a second, and that was basically game over. So I ended up boxing and calling it a day on that run. And you can see right now we are in the drop zone. Otmir hasn't set a lap, and I can tell you he's not going out. So for some reason, no laps from Jarno, potentially a car issue, reliability issue that you have to stay in the garage. Either way, only one of our cars are going to fight and contest for a spot in Q3. So let's get to it, and let's see if we can try and make the final part of qualifying here in Las Vegas. Yes, what a lap that was. P10, we will take that. Excellent lap, really, really good. And to be fair, we made it through by 2 milliseconds, 2,000th of a second, literally a hairline around here. We just beat Albon to Q3, and that is a huge lap. So great performance, 1 minute 30.0, and we will take that happily into Q3. Now, speaking of which, we didn't really have any compounds available, only one set of fresh tyres left. The other compounds had 7% or above, so they're not going to be that great. You can see currently Verstappen 28.4, ouch, big gap to P2, but Antonelli there 29.9 in P9, that could be potentially possible. So let's go for it. Turn 1, straight braking, brake at the curb, 4th gear, try and get a bit more inside curb than I do through that particular instance. Look down at the battery just to accelerate, but we actually just run a bit wide and understeer, and we're nowhere near the inside barrier at turn 2 or turn 3. So a bit of a time loss there, which wasn't ideal. Probably lost about 1/10 of a second, maybe a bit more. Through turn 4, we clip our apex this time and get a lovely run out of there. And in the first sector, we are 1/2 down on Oscar Piastri. On the brakes, try and straight line brake a little bit into this chicane. Important to attack the curbs and really hook that up as we tighten things up. Now on the way out, power down, using the battery as we are now going to race towards this critical left-hander before the back straight. So you want to try, again, straight line braking, very important. And now at the shadow, 4th gear, just kiss the inside curb. Bit of an overcorrection there as the back end tries to get away. And now we basically just let the car breathe all the way down the straight. We're currently a 10th up, I believe, on Antonelli. So we're looking pretty good. Checkered flag drops as we now race towards the braking zone here into the chicane. Again, spot the 100 on the right side. Also, the curb can work as well. Down to 4th gear. Don't get too greedy on the curb on the left. Take lots of curb on the right. And now floor it to the line. Watch your battery deployment. The little green bar to the left of the circle, the yellow circle. Make sure you time that to run out over the line. And here we go then, over the start finish. And that looked okay. The question is, P10. That's a shame. So, unfortunately, no gain from that one. We did PB, 29.8, quicker than Q2. I think a perfect lap would have got signed for P9 because we left a bit of time at turn 2, turn 3 when we didn't quite get close to the barrier. And also, that left-hander before the backstrap, we didn't quite have the car fully stable. But other than that, P8 and above was way too quick for us. Essentially Formula A, as I've been mentioning in the last couple of episodes. But yeah, decent qualifying, Q3, and a good chance to hopefully bag some points. Hopefully, Otmir also up in the fight as well. But either way, guys, qualifying done. We're now going to jump into the main event here at Vegas and see if we can try and hopefully get a huge result in the race.
Welcome along to Las Vegas. It's Viva Las Vegas tonight. I can't wait to see what this place has in store for F1 tonight. Well, tonight we go racing around the bright lights of Las Vegas, 3.8 miles under the Nevada night sky and thousands of neon lights. There are landmarks everywhere you look, punctuating the 17 corners and 2 DRS zones. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Antonelli, Nicholas Soloff, and Albon, Verstappen, Doohan, Russell, and Esteban Ocon, Behrman, Gasly, Jarno Opmeer, and Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Piastri, Carlos Sainz, and Gabriel Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Hadja, Lawson, and Yuki Tsunoda rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Wow, I don't believe this. We're starting P5. We qualified P10. There's been so many grid drops in this one. Many, many casualties to engine drops, engine penalties, and we genuinely have a great shot today at getting some excellent points. Now, strategy for this one looks fairly straightforward. Looks like a medium to hard tire strategy. A simple one stop. It seems to be quicker than the two stop, so we're going to try and make that work. A bit like in Brazil, which was going to be the case until the safety car kind of changed plans. For the fuel, we're going to run 0.2, and that should get us over the line. So, no rain forecast. Genuinely, could be a good race today. Really good race. And fingers crossed, I'm hoping we can get some big points. So, yeah, I think, honestly, a big result today would mathematically secure P5 in the constructors and also a top 10 in the drivers for both of our guys, which would be an excellent first season to cap things off. So let's get to work, let's get to it, and let's see how things go in Las Vegas. So decent bit of tyre temp. We've got pretty big aspirations today, I think, to do well. Everybody seems to be same wavelength in terms of strategy and tyres. But yeah, we're gonna get ready for this one and see how we go. I'm gonna try and get a burnout if possible. There it is. Right, I'm looking forward to this one. It's Vegas, baby. Let's get to it. If you enjoy, guys, leave a like on the video, subscribe, lights on, and we're off. And it's a good start. We jump Antonelli straight away. Thought about going down the inside there. Instead, we're just going to hang back. Hamilton trying to challenge Norris, but having a look around the outside at turn 2, but don't quite have the grip to do so. Albon overtaking Antonelli as well, as they're both battling behind. P4 though will do very, very nicely indeed. Of course, last time out Ferrari got that 1-2 finish with that brilliant strategy, and they're looking strong again today. Norris is going to be the wild card for the red cars today. If we can hang on to these three, that could make our race. We've already got a gap to Antonelli over a second, who's been battling with Albon. So if we could get a break, and if these three behave, that could be huge for our race. So let's settle in. I want to see what the straight line speed looks like now that we lowered our wings a little bit, as you saw before. Here we go. Wow, look at the acceleration. We've been absolutely destroyed. I'm still using battery, but nothing is happening. Wow, we're getting wrecked. Absolutely wrecked in a straight line, it seems. That acceleration is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Granted, you know, the AI do this all the time. I'm used to it. But it still amazes me how they accelerate so strongly as behind Verstappen now.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
He's battling with Antonelli and Albon. They've lost so much time. Ferrari 1-2 up ahead. Right, come on. We can still do this. I might have to go down the wing of the pit stop though to try and get something back, because we are just really passive on the straights. Verstappen is super quick, rapid pace-wise. He's going to be catching us ASAP. He's already dropped Antonelli, who's battling with Russell now. The Ferraris are going to swap. We are still just struggling on the straight to compete. It's crazy because our sector times didn't seem that bad in practice when I looked at them. So, different ball game in the race, it seems. And just like that, Verstappen has arrived and he's dragging Russell with him. Russell, to be fair, is dropping Antonelli, so those two are joining the fight. They've been very quick in the last few rounds, so I'm not surprised. Wow. That's insane. 2 seconds quicker. Well, that's going to be hard to stop. That sort of differential on pace is a pretty significant one. Here comes Max. He's having a look, and he's already got alongside. And I am just going to back out. That'd be a bit wise. The Ferrari is going to side by side. They're constantly duking it out. Russell arriving. We've got a pretty big gap then behind. So this might be your lead group, lead win fight. The Ferraris are still just fighting it out constantly around the streets of Vegas. And now Hamilton, who has been quick lately, hits the front. I think Russell will likely get through out onto the back straight because, again, I'm being realistic with how things are going. This isn't really my fight. I'd rather just get a bit of battery charge. So we will let Jules just crack on here. I'll sit behind, get the slipstream and the DRS, and that should be fine. There we go. But look at the guys ahead. When they use battery, they just disappear. It's 4 wide. Wowza. It really is Vegas. Debris kicked up there. Now I think Lando hits the front with Verstappen. The Ferraris get overtaken. This is a mega scrap. Just got to be wise. And I think pitting at the right time here could change the game. Verstappen's already getting away, and he's putting daylight between himself and the competition. It's amazing how a lap ago the Ferraris were 1-2 and now they're 4-5. Verstappen P1, Russell now P3, so those two are carving through. Antonelli is on his way. He's dropped Albon, and that's it. The world champion's gone. Just like that. That's the sort of pace Verstappen had. Oh, the two Ferraris are still juking it out there. We are starting to pull away from Antonelli and Albon, so this is good for our final finishing position. We can, lock in a P6 here. Oh, lock up on the front. That was a huge one. I got close to Leclerc. I was trying to potentially go for a move, but I got that close that I started to get the dirty air, and suddenly the fronts just said, no way, pal. We're going straight on. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. Why are we struggling now all of a sudden? There is not overheating, but to be fair, we do have some tyre wear to deal with. And I think we've just lost one of the V-carbs. I just had to look away for a second from my screen, but I'll put a replay up to see who it was. I think it's a V-carb. No safety car though from that one, so we'll continue on as normal. I think we might have just lost DRS here. We have. Wow. Whew. That acceleration zone is killing me, man. AI actually get away and break a gap on me. Little Walkis again, just trying to hang on to these tyres. I'm also pushing so I not lose DRS. Oh, Hamilton. Now, first signs of a bit of rear tyre wear. Big slide for the 7-time champion. What a difference when the AI don't use their battery and they're not in attack mode. I can actually keep up with them just fine. Granted, I have to use battery of my own just to match them, but it's much more pleasant.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
There it is. We get completely shredded. I was as close as I could possibly be, but there's just nothing I can do against this. I really can't. Anyway, we're going to box on this one for the hard compound tyre. Struggling with this one. Hopefully the hard will be better for us. It has been in the past, historically, so let's see. Slow it down. Bit of rear locking, but all good. And there's a tyre wear icon in the bottom right, so fitting on the timing as Verstappen goes. We hold up George Russell a little bit, so that will cost him definitively, I think, versus Lando Norris. Norris was getting away in P2. In we go. 2.5. Got a little turn of front wing. I've lowered it a bit, so I've got a bit more straight line speed.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Going to rejoin just behind Carlos Sainz, which I don't entirely mind. You can see him struggling for grip. We don't have DRS though, which is a bit of a concern. I thought I'd have guaranteed DRS there, so that's going to cost us. So we're going to have to just wait. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt us on the outlap. I just hope he doesn't suddenly disappear off at the exit of this corner. Realistically, worn tyres, he shouldn't do, but he does. Wow. Right, we're going to have to burn. So a bit less front wing should give us a bit more straight line speed. Believe it or not, anyway. Like, look at this. This is insane. Signs. Changing his line. Defending inside to outside. But we go through. Definitely not ideal, but it is what it is. Something to bear in mind for next season around here. You know, running way less wing to be strong on the straight and compete with these guys. Right, where's Leclerc? I think we might have lost him. Yeah, we've lost him definitively. We've lost so much time in that outlap phase. Well, that could be our race. The good thing is, Antonelli seems to have a slow stop. So Gasly is now the car behind us, and he's on mediums, which is interesting. But we've got a decent gap. So unless the car's ahead battle, this might be all she wrote. To be fair, Hamilton's in the pit lane. I forgot about that. So we might be able to work with Lewis. He could be someone we can latch onto. We are not too far off our PB, and there's Lewis. So we have actually managed to come out side by side, or rejoin side by side. Inside line for us, we're going to get DRS down here, so that's huge. Obviously, we're not going to drop Lewis, but it means we can just try and push for a bit and work with him to try and maybe catch up to Leclerc. Gap over a second, but Lewis will just walk right back into my DRS range. Detection point. There. And he's 7 tenths behind, and now he's going to get DRS. He may even challenge on this one, to be fair. Look at that. That's insane. And I lowered more wing at the stop, and he nearly gained a full second on me on that straight alone. That's mental. Right then, Q through goes Hamilton. This will be swift from the 7-time champion. Look at that. I actually gained a 10th on the exit of the corner, but he got through straight away. He'll now have DRS. No, actually, I've got DRS. Okay. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Right, well, thank you very much. That will do me a nice favour. We can keep on chipping away here. We are matching Leclerc's pace right now. Russell actually got ahead of Lando, so I'm assuming Lando may have had a slow stop. Not ideal. Bit of a rear lock. It's going to be a carbon copy of the last lap. Absolute carbon copy. Hamilton through. And we're going to get the DRS. And we'll go straight back through and reclaim P5. Don't mind if I do. Oh, Hamilton's got the run here. I'm going to have to wave a white flag. This time I've got no battery. I've run out. I think P6 is going to be where we finish, which, I mean, is still great. I'm just amazed at how the AI have performed around it and their acceleration. Hamilton now having a slide. But we've got a healthy margin to Antonelli and Piastri.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Hamilton starting to get away now and snap the elastic. 2-lap pressure tyres as well. That is a factor that we're going to have to deal with. Trying to hang on to his DRS for as long as I possibly can. Ooh, got a mistake there. First one in a while. Maybe first signs of the rear tyre starting to let go. We are, of course, 2-lap older tyres than Lewis, so Lewis is still pulling the pace along. We're matching him quite nicely, just that, you know, I can't get close on the straights, but we are being dragged along. I mean, look at the gap to Antonelli. It's insane. We're not catching the battle ahead. I was hoping Leclerc would have maybe joined the fight for P2 versus, you know, Russell and Norris, but he's never quite been able to catch up. So, yeah, we've just been managing, really. We might have a chance at getting a P5, but I really think because of this, you know, straight issue, we can't really get close. I think P6 is still going to be where we finish. Now, moment of truth. Can we snatch P5 from Lewis Hamilton? It won't be easy. From the get-go, got to use the battery here. Come on. Come on. I'm going to try and leave a little bit in the reserve and trust the DRS. Come on. Verstappen wins. Oh my god, I just can't catch. It's just ridiculous. You would not believe I had DRS as we get slight damage. Irrelevant at this stage, but I just can't do nothing about that. Either way, We gave it a go. Hamilton flashing, but too little too late. GG.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
There we go, confirmation. Verstappen dominates again. Leclerc, Russell on the podium. Leclerc actually got that P2 in the end and leapfrogged Russell, Norris. Hamilton finishes P5. We finish just behind him, P6. Great performance. 20 seconds ahead of Antonelli, by the way. We really did well. That was everything. Like, I was on the limit that entire race, pace-wise. We just used the DRS to try and pull away and, increase our average pace. Worth noting, Jan Watmere P16, started P13, not terrible, not great. But yeah, that is your lot. So let's quickly delve into some standings, shall we? So Jarno P9, Solov with some points up to P10, and that, I'm pretty certain now that's a lock. I think top 10 with both drivers in Season 1 is going to be a great result. In the Constructors, the gap to Williams goes up, and it's 99 points. I am also certain we've got that P5 on lock as well, which is important for the Constructors' prize money. So that is what we care about. Anyway, Hulkenberg has signed for the team. Colapinto has a contract offer. So we'll see what happens in the future. In the meantime, guys, on screen, you're seeing also our fan rating increase. Hopefully, we can regain some fan bonuses because we've lost a few, even though we've been progressing quite well. And there has been some criticism. So hopefully that recovers, which you'll see in the background. Either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Smash the like button. Subscribe for more. As always, a huge shout out to my channel members for supporting everything that I do on the channel. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen. And I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. Ciao, ciao.